small act of igniting the propane stove is a huge milestone, and it is the means for the first cup of tea in his new home, where it just so happens every cubic inch of space is significant.
For me, I love the idea. I always wanted a cabin, and I like things being sort of compact, and the less you have, the less you have to worry about. And this is pretty good as far as a Westerner's idea of less to have.
Drawing on his own sweat equity as a Red Seal carpenter, it's here in this workshop his dream home comes to life. Mortgage-free and $9,000 worth of new building materials, supplemented by giving old wood a new purpose.
Reclaimed materials have become kind of a boutique thing, and therefore kind of expensive. So any of the reclaimed stuff that I've got on here is really reclaimed. Like it came off a construction site. I didn't buy any of the reclaimed stuff. Didn't do as much as I would have liked because it was a time thing. I basically took 2 months off, and whatever was available, and whatever was reclaimed, I used as much as I could.
Despite productivity being slowed down somewhat by a broken foot, the house is now at a point where it feels like home.
It reminds me of the fort that I had in the rafters of my dad's shop. It's such an amalgamation of all these different places that I've liked. All of the curtains below the countertop, grandparents' cabin. Up here reminds me of one of the forts I had when I was a kid. Everything is just different stuff from cool places.
112 square feet of well-appointed space, and this tiny house is actually part of a larger tiny house movement. Google tiny house movement and you will find more than 21 million hits, complete with documentaries, do-it-yourself videos, and blogs for days. It begins with a mindset and a shift in thinking.
I heard about these people who live in tiny houses, and I wanted to know more.
You know, I guess the primary asset that comes with a small house is freedom. It's really just, the world gets a lot bigger when you're living small, because I can afford to do a lot more things now in terms of both cash and time. The whole world is now my living room.
There's nothing like chilling on the Muskoka chair on the cedar deck, reflecting on the countless decisions and choices it takes to get to this point.
I could have pushed this wall back 2 feet and gotten, another couple of feet, which would have been huge as far as square footage is concerned. But having the porch it's so cool. I've always wanted a porch. I've never had one, and I've got a porch that I can sit on. It's really cool.
Right there. Good.
And this is where the rubber hits the road. Christopher is moving out of his 700 square foot apartment in Vancouver to live in his tiny house on wheels that will fit in any standard parking space. What was once a drawing and a dream is now the real deal. In the Comox Valley, I'm Marjorie Greaves.